Elephant Man Podcast Network, grown man conversations dealing with elephants in the room. It's your man DB. Like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell so you can know when new content is coming out. What's going on, family? Hope everybody had a blessed day today. Everybody had a good day today. Shalom, shalom to Lynn. Blessings. Ruma, blessings. I know this is a deep one right here. And you know what? One thing that was very, very interesting about this topic, I was going to do this show back in December of 2020. I was going to do it. Shalom. I was going to do this one back in 2020. It was going to be called the Letter of Giuseppe. And it's just very, very interesting that we got this conflict going on right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show these two little videos real quick. One is 2 minutes, the other one is 3 minutes. And then we're going to go into it. It could be some coincidental things going on. So let's go right into these videos. Oh, I know this user. This user might be my mom right here, I think, with the emoji faces. All right, so let's go right into this video so we can check it out, see what's going on. Shalom. Ashley Just Souls. Shalom. Let's go right into this video. Very, very interesting. Oh, now I don't want to do it. Oh, well, we're going to do it again then. We're going to get it going. Okay. Let's just stay real short. They're real short. I'm not going to do that. All right, let's check it out. Oh, why it wants to do that. Play.
It still has more targets to hit and did overnight, destroying more of what it describes as an extensive tunnel network Hamas is using to fire rockets. Hamas is still launching rockets at Israeli cities, but fewer than before. And the group is no longer making good on promises to rain fire on northern Israel at the time and place of its choosing. Hamas's infrastructure and the homes of its leaders have taken a severe beating. So have the people in Gaza, poor and cut off. Israel doesn't allow them to leave Gaza, even when it's attacking. According to health officials, around 200 in Gaza have been killed so far, including more than 60 children. Many in Gaza are now taking refuge in UN-run schools. The UN Director of Operations here says this must end.
The population is terrified.
Uh-oh. What's going on? I got too many windows open.
They started moving from their homes because they no longer feel safe. All I can say is, as a humanitarian, as a UN official, first of all, stop the war, stop the violence.
Amani Al-Shawarji, a teacher, went to a school when a bomb exploded by her house.
We left because our windows broken and fire entered our house.
She says the hopelessness in Gaza, often compared to a prison, makes her students angry and despondent.
They feel that there is no future. Why? When I say to them, learn to what? Learn to be what? If we died, there is no need for our education.
For some here, this is the goodnight ritual. 6-year-old Kinda tells her mother she's afraid she's going to die, that the house will be destroyed. Her mom, like any mother around the world, tries to calm her fears and tells her everything will be all right.
Oh, that's a heartbreaking image. Richard, are you all right? I see you're putting on your gas mask, escalating tensions.
Yes, the gas mask is just starting to come in here. We are fine, but these situations do develop fairly quickly, so you want to be ready. But there have already been some injured taken away from here. There are ambulances stationed around, and this is the way the protests develop. They throw stones at the Israeli soldiers. When the Israelis feel it is too intense, they fire with either rubber bullets or tear gas, and if it escalates further, they fire with live ammunition. So some people do get killed at different demonstrations like this. But this is the amount of anger we are now seeing in many parts of the Palestinian territories. People here are not all from Hamas, many different Palestinian factions, but they have come together in a sign of unity to say they support the people in Gaza.
All right, Richard Engel for us. Stay safe, Richard.
Sorry, I'm muted. Like I said, that's a crazy reality. We gotta pray for the people for real, man. That baby crying, you know what I'm saying? Bombs blowing up, man. You don't know if that's your last night on the planet. Oh, you can't hear me right now? Type in a 1 if you can hear me. Oh, don't be on that. Can you hear me? Testing. Can you hear me? You hear me? Can you hear me? Okay. Because Pensy said she couldn't hear. No, because my mic, I don't know what's going on with the 111, 1,111. Yeah, but that's shout out to Sean, shout out to LC, the prodigal son. Yeah, shout out to my wife LaDonna Brazil. Oh, Lester Adams, Toda. Oh yes, blessings. Shout out to Devora Cotton 21. Shout out to my wife LaDonna Brazil. Yeah, shout out to, I said Lynn. Yeah, so as people come in, I'm going to be, hold on, I'm going to take that up. But that is crazy though, man. You know, we don't tell the whole story of that. And this is the same, I almost look at the same thing with the protests going on. Same thing, you know what I mean, that we go through over on this side, man. And wow. But anyway, I had something called the Letter of Giuseppe. And I think I seen somebody was talking about the Letter of Giuseppe. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. I'm scrolling back. Hold on real quick. Oh no. Somebody was saying that they was talking about the Letter of Giuseppe at work. But yeah, I'm gonna touch on that. I'm gonna touch on that because I think that's very, very interesting to the point where let's open that. Let's share that screen, open that up real quick so we can go right into that. So okay. Share. I'm at the last slide. They're showing too much stuff. What's going on? Messing the presentation up. Hold on. So I had a show that I was going to record back in December, and it was called The Letter to Giuseppe. And this letter was supposedly came out in 1871, before the first World War came out. 1871, before the First World War. And so I just read this letter. I shared it with some of my friends, and I thought it's pretty interesting. So a lot of people say, well, that letter can be created. A lot of people, they always say it's a false letter. And they say, well, that letter could be made up after World War II. But I said, okay, World War III ain't happened yet, right? One of the major wars ain't happened. If they line up, if the events line up with what's in this letter of World War III, we know that this letter is not farce. We know that this letter is not, it cannot be farce. They said Willie Lynch letter was farce, was a fake. But if you read the Willie Lynch letters and you look at what's going on in our communities today, that's a big coincidence. Yeah, LC, I read it a while back. Thank you. Somebody is, oh, wait a minute. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. LC, you had another post that I want to show on here, man. But anyway, let's go right in, let's go right into it, okay? Albert Pike in the 3 World Wars. Albert Pike received a vision, and then you know what? Another thing, guys, it's like so many layers to this. It feels like sometime, man, I'm reading in the middle of a book because it's so, I would be backtracking so far back. I mean, I'm gonna have to just do some back shows. You know how the Star Wars, they just start off with the first 3 episodes of Star Wars, then they went back and told the backstory. I'm gonna have to go back to the backstory. But just trust me and track with me on this. There's so many layers to this story. Buffering, okay. Hopefully I'm gonna be buffering, man. Yeah, they want me to buffer on this one. This one crazy. All right, so Albert Pike received a vision, which he described in a letter that he wrote to Mazzini, dated August 15, 1871. This letter graphically outlined plans for 3 world wars that were seen necessary to bring about one world order. So they've been on the one world order way for a long time, ever since the Tower of Babel. Civilizations have been trying to get to this one world order, a new world order, a new way of doing things outside of the way of the Most High, the way the Most High got his kingdom set up. So these nations and tribes and civilizations have been trying for years to get a new world order. Okay, and we can marvel at how accurately it was predicted, even the things that took place already. Giuseppe was an Italian revolutionary leader in the mid-1800s, and he was also the director of Illuminati, while Albert Pike, historical Masonic figure, is a 33rd degree Mason. He is properly identified as the Freemason occult Grand Master, creator of the Southern jurisdiction of the Masonic Scottish Rite Order. Here are some extracts from the letters showing how the 3 world wars were planned, but we're going to get into that in a second. Okay? So, like we said before, he's a Freemason. He was also a senior officer in the Confederate States Army who commanded the District of Indian Territory and Trans-Mississippi Theater of the American Civil War. So he was also one of the Confederates. Former Confederate found himself barred from ballot box. Pike remained deeply opposed to black suffrage, insisting that white race and the race alone shall govern this country. So he wasn't really feeling, African Americans, so-called black people. I took my obligation to white men, not to Negroes. This is an actual quote from him. When I have accepted Negroes as my brother or leave Masonry, I will leave Masonry. And people say that that don't exist. That's in the Free and Accepted Mason book, 1899, Grand Lodge, page 117. For those who like, you making it up. That boy making that stuff up. All right. Also, Walter Linwood Fleming, 1905, Ku Klux Klan. Its original growth and disbandment lists Pike as the Klan's chief judicial officer. So my man's was in a lot of different things, right? He was in the Klan. He was a soldier in the Confederate Army, and he's real revered in the Masonic world, right? Let's see. Mazzini was an Italian politician, journalist, and activist for the unification of Italy, and spearheaded the Italian revolutionary movement. All right. Giuseppe Mazzini, I hope I'm saying his name right, was an Italian revolutionary leader of the mid-1800s, as well as the director of the Illuminati. So we always hear about the Illuminati and stuff, but I thought in here too. So Pike's letter to Mazzini, it is commonly believed fallacy, right? They're claiming this letter is false. For a short time, and Pike's letter to Mazzini was on display at the British Museum Library in London, and it was copied by William Guy Carr, former intelligence officer in the Royal Canadian Navy. But they was like, man, that letter ain't for real. Okay. To this date, no conclusive proof exists to show that this letter was ever written. Nevertheless, the letter is widely quoted and a topic of much discussion. So after a while, they just took it out of the library, like, let me go and get that letter back. I got booted from the stream. Really? It's buffering bad on my end. Oh man. Let me close some of these. I think I got too much stuff open in the back then. I don't know. Okay. I want to make sure. All right. So they removed the letter, right? But nevertheless, it's still circulating around. And also, if it's a fake letter, why would you want to remove it? And also, if it's a fake letter, why would you put it in the museum? Right? We just write just fake letters and just put them in. Museums, people don't ask the right questions, man. The First World War, check this out. This is in the letter. The First World War, we must be brought about in order to permit the Illuminati to overthrow the powers of the Tsars in Russia and making that country a fortress of atheistic communism. So they was kind of upset with Russia. I'm going to do a backtrack story on that another time. The divergence causes by the agitator, the agents of the Illuminati between the British and the Germanic empires would be used to foment this war. At the end of the war, communism will be built and used in order to destroy the other governments in order in order to weaken their religions. Two students of history will recognize that the political alliance of England on one side of Germany and on the other side forged between 1871 and 1890 by the Otto von Bismarck, co-conspirator of Albert Pike, was instrumental in bringing the First World War. So basically, they're saying if this letter is fake, this is almost to the T on what was going on with the First World War, right? And wars make money. We know wars make money, right? Wars make a lot of money. A lot of money, right? So let's go to the next one. Second World War. Now, remember, all this supposed to be written in 1871. The Second World War must be fomented by taking advantages of the differences between fascists and political Zionists. This war must be brought about so that Nazism is destroyed and the political Zionists will be strong enough to institute a sovereign state of Israel in Palestine. And this talks about that Balfour Declaration and letter to Lord Rothschild, because that Palestinian area that Israel was owned, it was British territory. You know what I mean? And so I'll get into that. Like I said, it's a lot of backstory. I'm going to have to do one of those, you know. All right. During the Second World War, international communism must be strong enough in order to balance Christendom, which would be then restrained and held in check until the time when we would need it for the final social cataclysm after this Second World War. Communism was made strong enough to begin taking over the weaker governments. And then in 1945, the Potsdam Conference between Truman, Churchill, and Stalin, a large portion of Europe was simply handed over to Russia. And on the other side of the world, the aftermath of the war with Japan helped sweep the tide of the communism into China. So World War II, check. Almost to a T with this letter. Okay. Nazism and Zionism in 1871. Readers who argue that the term Nazism and Zionism were not known in 1871 should remember that the Illuminati invented both of these movements. Communism, what you say? It's what? I'm frozen? I'm frozen right now. Can you guys hear me? I look like I'm on here. Oh, wow. Keeps cutting off. Oh, I want this to get out, huh? Can you hear me? Type 1 if you can hear me. All right. Okay. What is Zionism? Can y'all see that screen right there? You are not frozen here. Okay. Zionism is both an ideology and nationalism movement among Jewish people that espouse to reestablish and a support for a Jewish state in a territory defined in the historic land of Israel, roughly corresponding of Canaan, the Holy Land, and the region of Palestine. Okay, the primary goals of Zionism were to reestablish of Jewish sovereignty in the land of Israel, okay, and gathering the exiles and liberation of Jews, okay, from all over the diaspora. So what they want to do, this dude right here named is Theodor Herzl, you see in this picture. He was for political Zionism, right? Not so much Torah. I mean, basically, you can come back if you was believing in Torah and the Most High, but it was a lot of atheists. It was a lot of communists. It was a lot of nationalists. So the people who what's that other than Torah? Oh man, I got a brain freeze. Talmud. Sorry, Talmud. So some people follow the Talmud and not Torah. So, but he wanted to get this Jewish state back, and it's not a reestablishment because, again, these guys, predominantly Israel's own, 90%, over 90% of the people that's there right now, they wasn't the original true Hebrews and Jews of the Bible. I know that's going to make some people upset when I say that, I stand with Israel stickers on their shirt. But these are people from Russia, Khazaria. And another backstory I got to go to. Man, I'm going to have to do that. But that's all right. It's getting me more content. All right. Since the establishment of the state of Israel in 1948, Zionism has come to include the movement for development of the state of Israel and to protect the Jewish nation in Israel through support of the Israel Defense Force. From inception, Zionism advocates tangible as well as spiritual aims. Jews of all persuasions, left, I told you, right, religious, secular, form Zionism movement and work together toward this goal. Theodore Herzl, that's the guy in the picture, was the visionary behind this model. So they used to have different meetings and stuff. They wanted to make Israel their homeland and stuff like that. All right. So, but I'm gonna go into that story later because some people will say that's anti-Semitic, and it's not. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to be anti-Semitic at all. I'm just going off history and different things that happened. And for a long time, me, like a lot of people, believe that the people that's over there right now was the people originally from the book, right? The true Hebrews of the Bible, and they're not. And sometimes the Bible is manipulated, you know what I mean? And but that's a whole nother story. I want to stay on track because it'll turn into another show, and I'll be on here for longer than from what I studied. All right, communism, a totalitarian system in which the government, system of government in which a single authoritarian party controls the state-owned means of production. I'm going somewhere with all of this information, guys. Stick with me. All right. So basically, in a nutshell, how is government put into power? Through a revolution, some kind of revolt, right? Who controls and distributes the goods? The state. Who controls the government? State. Who controls the products of goods? The state. What role do the people have? Work for the state's benefit. And so I believe even right now, we always say America, democracy, this, that, and the other. And I knew this was getting kind of heavy. I knew it was going to get lose a few listeners on this one, but we got to get through it. But anyway, that's what, people say democracy and different things like that. But I think that they wanted to have, the have and the have nots. That's what they're trying to get to right now. You know what I'm saying? But that's neither here nor there. All right, let's go to this. Karl Marx. Capitalism will be replaced by a socialistic collective where all were equal in ownership and rewards of production. So this is almost like socialism. So there's pros and cons to the socialistic model. You know what I mean? Because it's like, okay, everybody taken care of, right? So the basic needs to be met, but it's a ceiling to how much you can make. Like it'll be like all families get $5,000 a month or $3,000 a month or whatever it is, right? But you can't make no more, no less. Everything is being controlled by the state. You know what I mean? But you won't be. They'll push it as you won't be homeless and you won't be needing care for nothing. But it ain't no big eyes and little you. And that's why a lot of the people on the right, the capitalistic people, American dream people, they really don't like that model. All right. I don't have a laptop nor a computer. Oh, I'm sorry. We're going to pray that you get both. The goal of socialism is communism, Vladimir Lenin. And you see holding that fist up. That's pretty much one of the beginning signs of the black fist, or just the fist up. Founder of Russian Communist Party, Bolsheviks, inspire the leader of the Bolshevik Revolution in 1917. and the architect builder of the first head, 1917 to 1924, of the Soviet state. All right, so Vladimir Lenin. All right, Karl Marx. It's another Khazarian guy. Marx is the name of a set of political and economic ideas. The basic ideas are the world is split into two classes of people. There are workers and the rich capitalists who exploit the workers. Right? Okay, so now I'm tying it all together. You said, Brazil, get to it, brother, get to it. All right, here we go. Since the terrorist attacks of September 11th in 2001, world events, and in particular in the Middle East, show a growing unrest and instability between modern Zionism and the Arab world. Right on track for disturbed world conflict. Now, we know it's not going to be the end, the last war, because we know Gog and Magog talked about in Ezekiel 38, and China and everybody coming down to the Valley of Decision. I'm going to read that Joel 3 in closing, and the Matthew 24. So I'm going to read those books of the Bible too as well. So it's not about biblical prophecy. It's not about the end, but I'm saying this letter of Giuseppe is pretty, for it to be a fake letter, it's lining up to a T. And I'm just telling you things that don't just happen. War is money, and these conflicts are they just didn't happen, right? Well, he said something to me, and I said something to him, and I pushed him in the chest, and then he hit me with a rock, and then I shot a missile at him. No. Don't believe the hype. Don't believe the hype. All right. This is completely in line with what is called call for a third world war to be fought between the two and their allies on both sides. This third world war is still to come, and recent events show us that it's not far off. Now, remember, I was going to do this show back in 2020. Well, I had this information for so long, but I was like, some other stuff came up. But now that we got this recent conflict, we know that things could be a brewing. Okay, fascism, right? Opposed to liberalism, democracy, Marxism, and anarchism. Fascism is placed on the far right within the traditional left-right spectrum. So we always say left, right, Democrat, Republican, socialism, communism, fascism. We hear all these different things. A lot of these things came about and created by the Khazars from overseas, right? A lot of these words were coined, and we still use them today to label people and to put them in a different category. Okay. Fascism believed that liberal democracy is obsolete and regarded the complete mobilization of society under the totalitarian one-party state as necessary to prepare a nation for armed conflict and to respond effectively to economic difficulties. Such a state is led by a strong leader, such as a dictator or martial government composed of members of the governing fascist party, right? So if there was a call martial law, then it's like, man, for your health and safety, we're going to have to just take, control everything, control the roads, control censorship, control what you do, say, spin, and different things like that. Fascism rejects assertion that violence is automatically negative in nature and views political violence, war, and imperialism as means that can achieve national rejuvenation, right? So they ain't really tripping off they're not really tripping off violence. They're not really tripping off violence like that. And I'm not ragging on 45 in this broiler right here. You can see how long ago I made not long ago. I did this way before Joe got in office. Okay, the Third World War. Let's get into what they're saying that the Third World War is supposed to be about. The Third World War must be fomented by taking advantage of the differences by the agitator of the Illuminati between the political Zionists and the leaders of the Islamic world. Okay? They've been going back and forth for years. The war must be conducted in such a way that Islam, the Muslim Arab world, and the political Zionism, the state of Israel, again, remember, this was written in 1871, mutually destroy each other. Meanwhile, the other nations once more divided. We're real divided today as a world. We're very divided. It's buffering on my cell and TV. Oh, I got to get that together. Hopefully the playback, you'll be able to hear the playback. Meanwhile, other nations, once more divided on this issue, will be constrained to fight to a point of complete physical, moral, spiritual, and economic exhaustion. You heard that? Physical, moral, spiritual, and economic exhaustion. We should unleash the nihilists and the atheists. Then everywhere, this is all in the letter. Look this letter up, word for word. This is in the letter. Then everywhere, the citizens obliged to defend themselves against the world minority of revolutionaries will exterminate those destroyers of civilization and a multitude disillusioned with Christianity, whose deity experience will from that moment be without compassion of direct anxious for an idea. So they're going to be like rejecting all of it. Man, look, forget all of the world religions, right? And even right now, the representation of quote unquote Christianity or followers of the way, you know what I mean, is looked upon as fascist, looked upon as racist, you know what I mean? And that ain't even the way of the Most High a lot of the time. But the representation of it is hit the arrow back, next circle in the middle. Oh man, I'm sorry. I don't know why this thing doing all that. Okay, so they'll be exhausted. Man, they destroyed the world, man. They just we physically, mentally, financially, emotionally just tired without knowing where to wither their adoration, because you know we got to be led by something. We'll receive the true light through the universal manifestation of the pure doctrine of Lucifer. Now, I want you to understand Lucifer is not the bad guy to these people, right? He painted himself as an angel of light. He painted himself as the good person. Like I was trying to get y'all to the knowledge of tree, the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. And then the Most High, he trying to hide something from y'all. He stopped y'all from getting it and kicked me out. This is how explained in a nutshell. So Lucifer he got his side too. He got his people that's following him and think that he's the good guy. What's bad is good, what's good is bad. Brought finally out of public view, right? So he wants to come out of the shadows, come all the way into public view. But it's not going to come how we see it. You know how people was kind of tripping off with the whole Nas X shoes and all of that. He ain't going to come like that, right? But he's going to come solving a problem that he created, right? If y'all seen that Spider-Man movie when Mysterio had all of these problems, then he came to the rescue like he was the hero solving the problems, but that's Marvel, but check it out. Brought finally out of public view. This manifestation will result from the general reactionary movement which will follow the destruction of Christianity and atheism, both conquered and exterminated at the same time. So we know that atheism, nihilist. Let's look at these definitions real quick so we can understand that last part of the letter. Rejecting all religion and moral principles in the belief that life is meaningless. Nihilist is the belief that all values are baseless and that nothing can be known or communicated. It is often associated with extreme pessimism and radical skepticism, right? True nihilists will believe in nothing, have no loyalties, and no purpose other than perhaps an impulse to destroy, right? They have no purpose in life. So they just destroy at will, right? And that's what the cynicalness, the pessimism that's going to bring, because we've been having these different world leaders and world governments and different things lie to us and lead us astray and blah, 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 blah. And they're just going to be pessimistic, wore out, skeptical about everything. Everything. Okay? Illuminated ones. Illuminati just mean illuminated ones. I got to do a backstory on this one. Refers to the Bavarian Illuminati, a secret society. This organization was founded by Adam Weishaupt. It's older than Adam Weishaupt, but for the sake of this, that's what we're going to put. a German law professor who believes strongly in the Enlightenment ideas, and his illuminating order sought to promote whose ideas among the elites. So this was during a Renaissance period. This was during a knowledge period, right? Hedonistic and humanistic period. Weishaupt wanted to educate Illuminati members in reason, philanthropy, and other secular values so that they could influence political decisions when they came to power, right? So these guys think they're on a whole other different level. Like they think they're enlightened. Atheists, we know atheist is a person who don't believe in the Most High or God or gods or anything. Okay, so the question is this letter true? Only time will tell. It's supposed to have been written in 1871. They say this letter is false, but the first World War I was almost to a T. World War II was almost to a T. And as we see, World War III didn't happen yet. And if it's supposed to be a fake letter, it's supposed to be a conflict between the Zionists and the Arab world. And that's very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. All right. So we see the Middle East conflict going on right now, right? And you see this Muslim dome right here in Israel, and all three of the so-called faiths are in Israel right now, right? Judaism, Islam, and Christianity / Catholicism is all there right now. Now, this is another show. I'm gonna do this one on Friday when they got their so-called Messiah, right? They got a new guy who's supposed to be like a so-called Messiah, right? So I believe that they got the green light. Like, man, you look, we got brother with us, man. We ready to make it happen, right? He wants to be a newfound guy, and they're trying to build a third temple, right? They believe that we need to get a third temple. We make decisions like this without the Mashiach. We don't need a third temple. When he said it is finished, and I'm going ahead of myself from this other show, it is finished. It said the veil to the Holy of Holies ripped from top to bottom. Not from bottom to top. First of all, it was a thick curtain. Second of all, it ripped from top to bottom. Right? So, Cam 2 player, shalom. So it ripped from top to bottom. So we don't need no third temple. We don't need no high priest because he is the high priest. We don't need no sacrifice no animals. He was the Passover lamb. He is all of that, right? But I'm gonna get into that. I'm gonna break that down in another show. But they believe that this Dome of the Rock, this little golden building right here, is in the way of them building the third temple. So it's looking like they're gonna be try to destroy it or tear it down or something, and that's gonna send the Muslim world. Because this is the third holiest site, I believe. This is the third holiest site for Muslims. They tear that down, it's on and popping, right? So anyway, these are different things. It's a lot of times, man. You ever been in class and the teacher, well, one person smack somebody in the head, right? And then the other person get up and then smack that person, and the teacher see that person, and that person, like, hey, what you doing smacking that person, right? That person ended up getting in trouble, but he didn't throw the first blow. So a lot of times when we see stuff on TV, it's a retaliation blow, believe it or not, right? I'm not taking no sides in this thing, but I'm just going off of from what I'm seeing. Okay, examples of Jewish dominance in non-Jewish society. This is 5 more slides, maybe 6 more slides. I'm going to get my last point. I'm going to read these scriptures, and we're going to be done. There are 4 modern examples where Jews actually dominated a non-Jewish society. Soviet Russia, 1917 to 1927. Germany, 1919 to 1933. And the U.S., 1950 to the present day. And y'all might be like, what? They control the United States? Yep. I can't even see or view anything other than the spinning wheel. Wow. Huh. Wow. Well, hopefully that's not the whole thing. I can see why they would want to shut this down and stop it and buffer it, and I can understand that. But you know what? I'm not a conspiracy theorist cat, and I get the information and I share the information. Okay, Kimberly J, Salama and good night, family. Salama, Kimberly J, blessings. Yeah. So, all right, let's go to this next one. In Russia, the Jews dominated the country politically, but not so much culturally. They lost political power to a seemingly non-Jewish, though it sure looked like it, Joseph Stalin. So Joseph Stalin, we believe, is he might be implanted, or you know what I mean. But I'll have to give you the backstory on that before he could affect much change in the culture. In Germany, however, the Jews dominated the culture, but not so much the government, and they owned a lot of the banks and stuff. They used this newfound dominance in the German culture to promote pornography, sexual deviancy, economic socialism, social individualism, and rebellion against the tradition of the Prussian order. I am not hating. I'm not being anti-Semitic. This is straight from the documents. Okay. The change occurred so rapidly that generated a tidal wave of reaction that brought Adolf to power. Okay. Examples of Jewish dominance today in the United States. Jews rose to dominance more gradually, but now possess total control. Look at this in yellow. Total control of the culture and overwhelming influence of the government. Jews began their influence in 1910 and 1920s with the establishment of Hollywood. Did you know that the Jews own Hollywood? Shalom, peace and blessings, Valley. Love you all. Okay. Did you know they control Hollywood? Jews ran the largest Hollywood studios. Check this out. Daniel, I'm live. Please calm down. Paramount, Warner Brothers, Columbia, MGM, and the RKO. That was a radio. Very gradually bought up the newspapers. Adolf Ox bought the New York Times in 1896. Eugene Meyer bought up the Washington Post in 1933. And it wasn't even until the 2000s that the Jews owned about every major newspaper in the United States. Controlling Hollywood all along, Jews extended their control into radio and the record industry and then to television. They own all of the media. So I say that, listen to me when I say this. All lagging, must have been bugging. Okay, I'll check on that. Crazy. If I got to do this show again, I will. I'm going to see what the playback look like. So they control everything. Radio. They control the rap game for real. You already know that. Now we're pushing out a lot of gangster rap. A lot of those record execs send their kids to college through our demise, right? We talked about in the other show, Black Trauma. You know, instead of slave movies, they're doing a lot of Black Trauma, a lot of movies, right? And they control the narrative. So I'm saying, even if they hit first, going back to the conflict, they're not going to make themselves look bad on the media and the news, right? They're going to say terrorist groups did it. And I'm not making the other group look like I'm not taking the side. Two, I'm not making them look like no Boy Scouts or nothing. Hear me out. They're not going to make themselves look bad. He who controls the narrative, they control the narrative, right? I'm not even lying to you on that. Okay. Empire of Their Own. It's a book out. Read this book. Empire of Their Own. How the Jews invented Hollywood. Fox, GMG, Warner Brothers. I'm sorry, not GMG. MGM. Paramount, Universal. Own Warner Brothers. They own the ideology. They own the networks. So when they be like Fox News, CNN, fake news, I'm just putting it out there, man. ESPN, they own all of that stuff. They own all of that stuff. It's a television. It can't see much before it goes out again and again. Wow, this has never happened on any show. And it says my bandwidth is strong. Let me delete. Wow. Okay. Hopefully the playback won't be doing all of that stuff. Shout out to Cam 2 Players. Shout out to Lynn Bernard. Shout out to Elder Adams. Television. Shout out to Kimberly J. I don't know what's going on with it. Wow. Okay. But I just said all that to say they can shape your thought. They can shape the way you think, the way you move, the way you walk, talk, act. Right? And I'm not, like, again, I'm not taking no sides or whatever. Okay. Okay. So I'm not taking no sides or whatever, but I'm saying we can't really look at that to understand and control the narrative. We can't really look at that to understand the narrative. We can't do that. So we got to trust and believe in the Most High, right? That's what we got to do in this end time. We got to trust and believe in the Most High. But only time will tell. Like, again, like, I don't think that is the final one, but it's very, very interesting how that is going on. But just like Minister Taylor, I seen one of his things. He was like, he ain't really worried about it. He said once Russia and China get involved, then we got to start raising eyebrows or whatever. But it did say that he's going to bring us to the valley of the decision, the valley of Jehoshaphat, right? Right? And Joel 3, Revelation 12, Ezekiel 38, he talked about those different things, the wars and rumors of war. Matter of fact, let's read that and close out, man. Hopefully when I share these things, it won't act up. Let's do Matthew. Oh boy, I don't know what's going on. That never happened. I guess it was too heavy. Crazy. But they are Baphomet 100%. Yeah. I feel you on that one. So we got to just pray and look out for the Most High. And now that this is going on, that global Zionism is really, really affected United States. They just, like, you see all over the thing. I stand with Israel. Why? I'm not saying you can't, but why? Why are you doing it? You don't know what's going on. So we got to make sure we pray for people in school, people that really, really don't know what's going on. They really don't know what's going on. So I'm going to share this. Matthew 4 and 14. Matthew 24. And I'm going to share it real quick. Hopefully, I'm going to share these two scriptures and then we're going to pray and get out of here, man. I don't know why my stuff buffering. Hopefully my playback don't do all that, man. Because I will do it again. They ain't gonna discourage me about getting my stuff all crazy. All right. Verse 4. And Yeshua answered and said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you. You should just wrap it up right there. Take heed that no man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I'm the Messiah, and shall deceive many. And ye shall have wars and rumors of wars. See that you not be troubled. For all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And there shall be famines, and pestilence, and earthquakes, and diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrows. Then shall I deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. We are the Most High's namesake. We are his namesake. We will be hated by nations, all nations for his name's sake. Okay. And then you shall be offered up and shall, okay. And then shall many be offered and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another. And many false prophets shall arise and shall deceive many. And I thought it was going to be hard for the false prophets, but it's easy for the false prophets. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. But he that endured to the end, the same shall be saved. And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for witnesses unto all the nations, and then the end shall come. Okay? So that's Matthew. I'm going to put that in here. Put that in here. Peace and shalom, Brother Damon, at Elephant Man Podcast. Okay. Yeah, I understand it. I'm almost done. I'm going to read one more scripture. Oh, that's crazy. So that's Matthew 24, verse 4. And I'm going to have to definitely rip this video and send it. Probably going to have to put it on Hebrew TV or my BandTube or something, because they might be tripping. They go see this. See, when you tell the truth, they're going to say anti-Semitic. They're going to say hate speech. You know, you're not being a global citizen. I'm not taking a side. I'm just saying, you know what I mean? If you smack me and somebody say, hey, what happened? Hey, that dude smacked me. What? You've been anti-Semitic. I'm an anti-Semitic. I'm getting a refund from Google. What? I'm getting a refund from Google. Google, you charge me money per month, no ads, the buck stops. I get it. I feel you on that. Okay, we're losing people. All right, so I'm gonna read one more thing. Let's go to Joel 3. No, this thing acting up. I ain't gonna worry about that. This thing is acting up. I don't know. Well, I got to figure that out, guys. I'm going to get my other computer up and we're going to get it going. So we're going to close out in prayer and we're going to believe the Most High. And everything that glitter ain't gold, and everything that looks like it is, it's not. You know, again, I'm going to do some backs. I ain't going to just leave y'all hanging and just start dropping names and dropping different things. And if, you know, Lord Terry spare life, I'm going to make sure I just do some of these back videos, just small back videos. They don't have to be long, just small back videos on how we get here and who is that person and how is this person doing this, that, and the other. And then also School of the Hebrews table they ain't taking stuff down. He got a lot of stuff on there too, but he was just doing a lot of confirmation before I even got on there. So I'm gonna close out in prayer. Father, in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach, we thank you for your grace and your mercy. We thank you for all the many blessings you bestowed upon us. You said, if I be lifted up, I'll draw men unto me. Satan, the Lord, rebuke you in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach. And we ask you, God, to just bless us and keep us and lead us into all truth. Father Yahweh, give us discernment. Let us wake up. Let us wake up. Let us wake up in this end times, Father Yah. Let us be wise as serpents, but harmless as doves, Father Yah. And Father Yah, let us not be scared to tell the truth, or let us not be led away from telling the truth because of the dangling carrot or because of some other motive. Father Yah, let us not be scared because of 501c3 or a building, or scared we're going to lose a congregation or offering or anything. Father Yahweh, because you said, my Yah shall supply all your needs according to his riches and glory in Yahushua HaMashiach. And so, Father Yah, we just thank you. And we ask you to make the crooked places straight and bless this recording. In Yahushua HaMashiach's name we pray, amen. Thank you guys for joining and coming with me, man. And I don't know. Hopefully the playback won't be buffering and I won't be frozen and all of that. If not, I got to do a short version and then do it again. Elephant Man Podcast Network, Grown Man Conversations, dealing with elephants in the room. This week, I'm going to do that thing about Yahushua being the third temple. He is the temple. That's why he said the temple gonna be torn down and raised in 3 days, and they didn't understand what was going on with that. But we're gonna get into some of that later. Elephant Man Podcast Network 1. Perfect.